Yeah, ultimately, I'm really appreciative of our fans for selling out the game and showing up. Awesome environment to start. You know, I felt like our players laid it on the line. I thought they fought and fought, kept giving ourselves chances, but ultimately, you know, poor coaching by me. At the end of the day, poor coaching by me to put us in a position to give up the fumble before half. You know, ultimately that should be a 7-0 game, and then, you know, to cut it to 14 and have a chance right there and give up a fake punt, again, on me. I gotta be better there. And so, you know, players fought and fought and fought and gave us every chance in the world, and you know, just poorly done by me tonight. You know, for those?
Yeah, I'm looking for those. Sorry about that.
There you go.
Are you ready, Coach?
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
Coach, what did you make of how Matt fared tonight in the first start?
Yeah, I mean, it got off to a really slow start. You know, we didn't do a good enough job getting comfortable throwing the football. You know, completions were tough. They were challenging every throw, but I thought he did a nice job of, you know, trying the deep ball, which created some pass interference calls. Thought Donovan had a couple of big catches. But ultimately, we got to do a better job with a freshman quarterback protecting him. There can't be free runners on him, and that happened too many times on third downs. And obviously, one of the serious momentum changes of the game. So.
Over here, Eli.
Eli, you're right, but when, at the end of the half, what did you want to try to establish going into that, and did that change through the sequence?
Yeah, I mean, we were trying just to make sure they had 3 timeouts, so we wanted to get the first down, and then once we got the first down, we tried to see if we get points. When it got to 3rd and 9 right there, you know, we tried to go to a max protection flood concept, but you know, ultimately they had a blitz on and they were able to swing the mic to the field, and ultimately had a free hitter. So that's my fault. It's poor scheme. I gave the okay to try to get the first down there, and I should have said to throw a screen instead.
Okay.
Eli, I know you addressed the fake punt, but I wonder if you could just kind of, you know, what was the situation like? Were you guys on alert? Were you in safe? What kind of, when you say you need to do better, what do you mean?
Third quarter, we're up 14, ball's somewhere middle of the field, right? Momentum had kind of switched in our favor. We had max return called because we thought we were going to be able to generate some space for Kevin. And when you have max return call, you're not really in a great position to defend the fake. We had one guy over there, but that wasn't going to be enough. And so ultimately that's on me. I gave the okay. I said, hey, we can be a max return here. So that's on me as the head football coach. You know, I approve those calls, and I got to be better.
Quentin right here.
Coach, you talked earlier in the week about the complexity of A&M's blitzing on third down. They'll go at a tendency to great tendencies on third down. What were they? How are they challenging you on those third downs, especially when they did blitz?
I mean, how much time do you have?
It's up to you.
Okay, so when we were running our 7-man protection, they were dropping the field in and overloading the weak side. So you got a 4-man slide. They were forcing the tailback to go to the field to pick up the double mug linebacker and then bring in the boundary safety, which would make it a 4-man side. So we tried to counter that by going max pro, then they were dropping in the zone, and then we went into that 12P full slide, which was effective the first time, and then the second time he went odd, brought somebody from the outside, put somebody in C gap, and then swung the mic to split the D gap and C gap area. So he got us.
Eli and Ben.
Coach, you mentioned that your players laid it all out on the line.
Yeah.
What's the scene in the locker room among them after this?
Devastated. Yeah, that's one of the toughest locker rooms I've been in, because we all believed that we were going to win. We all believed we were going to win. They fought like they were going to win. You know, there's just a couple of really big plays on defense and a big play on offense that changes us. You know, I mean, we give up the tunnel screen, jailbreak screen, we give up the long run, and offensively we give up the turnover. That, you know, ultimately I think we get beat by 21, and that's 21 points right there. But our guys will pull it together. Next week's senior week. You know, it's okay to be devastated. It really is. Like I told them, the only way you're ever gonna achieve your dreams and goals is to put everything you have into it, everything. And you gotta work your ass off, and you gotta believe, and no matter what obstacle you face, you gotta believe that you're gonna overcome it. And our guys did, they kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and then you get the wrong end of the result. And so now you gotta pick yourself back up, you gotta put your guts back in, and you gotta find something else to fight for. And our team will. Our team's gonna fight for each other next week for the seniors. We're gonna fight to finish strong. We were in this situation last year after South Carolina, and we found a way to just keep fighting and believing. And that's ultimately what we're gonna do. This team has a lot of strong leaders on it, and we're not going out like that.
Ben,
Along those lines, the defense seemed to keep your team in this game. What can you share about what you saw from your defense today?
Yeah, I thought they kept us in it as long as they could. You know, ultimately, the time of possession kind of put us in a bad spot. You know, and then, you know, a couple of bad spots, right? Fake punt when we had the momentum. And really, that's kind of when the wheels fell off for us defensively. I think we had given up the tunnel screen, but then we gotten stops. Offense had got a little bit of something going with the big return from Folks, and fake punt. We held them to a field goal there, but after that, you know, we weren't able to stop the run. You know, really the last drive, I mean, just, that's a kick in the growing area, just because, you know, you got it to 14, you got 7 minutes left, you got 3 timeouts, you know, you just need a stop. And we'd really stuffed the run most of the game, but just didn't have enough left in the tank.
you're in the middle.
I know you talked about Matt a little bit at the top, but just what do you want him to take away from this game, and what do you think he can do as
Yeah,
a
I
top
don't know,
three?
I'm gonna have to watch some tape and see. I mean, it's hard for me to assess it. It's hard for me to assess right now. I mean, I didn't think he made bad decisions in the past games. It's not like he was throwing the ball up for jeopardy and putting us in terrible spots. We let him down as coaches tonight with the protection plan.
Come over here to Zach, and then we'll finish up.
Eli, over the past 2 years, Missouri's 0-6 against ranked SEC teams. What's been so difficult about these big games?
Yeah, they're good teams. They're good teams. And I don't do a good enough job coaching.
Gonna finish with punt.
Coach, Ahmad Hardy was not on the field for much of the first half, especially after that first drive. What was